Yo, so I just want to point out this is therapy for us all. Like week in, week out. We look forward to it. Listen,
Fellas,
it's
it's
just
gonna be one of them nights.
it's gonna be. I'm telling you. What's good? Another Tuesday night at 9. What's up, fellas?
What's happening? We back.
Man, we back, man. And today, it's our day to shine, dog. It's our post Father's Day show, man, and we're gonna dig into it, what we've heard and what we haven't heard. You know, normally when I first started becoming a father, and when social media first started coming out, man, we ain't getting no love, like absolutely none, man. And it comes from a long line of coming from the single parent homes, and my mama's the daddy and the mama, and you know what I'm saying, all the garbage we've heard over the years, man. And we're gonna dig into that, how we felt, what kind of things we got, man, how we were even appreciated this time, man. So hey, man, let's just jump right into it, man. Everybody know who everybody is, man. So like, how do y'all feel about Father's Day being like 20th on the celebration list? What's up, Mo? What you got for me?
Yo, man. So it doesn't surprise me, but man, it's disappointing, right? I mean, I didn't even realize that it was 20th, but like I felt it, right? Because I remember, Mother's Day not being so long ago, man, like the celebration that was around it. And it was just kind of like, oh, um, you want a barbecue? I'm like, that's it? Like, oh, okay. So man, I'm making it a point going forward. Like, nah, y'all gonna reciprocate, man, all the effort and everything else that I do, man. So it's just really frustrating. It's sad, but I think the change starts with yourself. So I'm gonna be the change that I want to see, and I'm gonna make sure that at least in my house and at least in the people that I touch, man, y'all gonna celebrate me the way I the way I deserve.
What's up, Hit? How you feeling today?
Chilling, man. You can hear me?
Yeah, man. How come you always start the show off in the car? Like, where you be going all the time, yo?
Yo, I got a job, man. Like some of these guys that got some good jobs that get to sit in the house. My man told me the other day, I just woke up from my nap. I said, damn, it must be great, son. You know?
You could take a nap
Must
too.
be
You could do whatever you
great,
want on your last
you
day.
Period.
know?
So,
Nah,
what's your thoughts about
but,
Father's Day being so far back on the list?
hey, man, my daughter didn't even hit me up on Father's Day. And so I asked, I said, yo, what happened? It was Father's Day. She told me she didn't even know. Like, oh, I didn't even know it was Father's Day. My bad. And I think that's how it's looked at. It's almost like an oversight. Like there's a lot of people. I think if you poll people, they probably wouldn't really know what Father's Day was. You know what I'm saying? It's really that overlooked. And I think that's just a microcosm of how men, particularly, what I'm saying, black men are treated. You know what I mean? In general, like, you know what I mean? A lot of we're really overlooked like unsung heroes, man. And I think they pay attention. The dudes that don't do well get more attention than the dudes that do. And I think that's the biggest issue, man. We got to change that mindset. You know what I mean? Because I you won't even think this though, but all moms ain't good moms. But the way, you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean, Mother's
I
Day is
wanted to drop a
glorified.
bomb.
You would
I wanted to drop a bomb, but I just felt like I was being petty if I did
Look, that
it.
was an atom bomb.
Yeah, like I wanted to drop a bomb. I was like, man, that's too petty. We don't want to be that petty over here. We already changed the thumbnail. We changed the title. Like, you know what I'm saying? The title and the thumbnail is petty enough. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that petty. Like, we don't gotta do that. Look,
Nah, I
look at
mean,
most face. But go ahead, yo.
nah, no bombs needed, man. It's just, you know what I mean? It's a fact. So, like if you would look at it from that standpoint, the way it's glorified, you would think, and I think that's a reversal. I think that we glorify that most men don't do for their children, and so that's why we're underwhelmed when it comes to Father's Day. I just think, man, we gotta look at root cause, man, and we gotta change the mindset of people. Because I said this before in the show, man. I don't know a lot of bad fathers. You know what I'm saying? Like, they not in my.
That's the bomb we dropping.
That's facts.
Go ahead, spit it, Lee.
So yeah, I heard. I don't know. I was listening to radio while I was driving somewhere, and I heard something about Father's Day being 20th on the celebration list, and I was like, makes sense. Like, and coming from the restaurant industry, like Father's Day be the deadest day ever. It'd be so sad. Like Mother's Day is if you ever worked in the restaurant industry, Mother's Day is the busiest day of the year. Hands down, Mother's Day is the busiest day of the year. It's the day that everybody dreads, especially if you have to work that. You know what I mean? Like there's maybe one or two other holidays, depending on what type of restaurant you're at, that are headaches and they're busy. But Mother's Day is the busiest day of the year, and Father's Day is like crickets. You can see tumbleweeds going across the kitchen. There's just very little interaction. I think maybe the past 5 years it's been getting a little better, but it's not like booked out, you know what I mean, where there's lines out the door on Mother's Day. So I get it and I understand it. It's weird because in this country it is Hit said something real good, man. I can't remember verbatim what he said. He said something like the bad dudes or whatever are celebrated more than the good dudes, or something to that effect. And I'm like, man, that's crazy, because it makes so much sense. It's like dudes that are just trash, like there's no expectations. They get treated like the best dudes ever. But the dudes that are actually doing the right thing, you know what I mean, taking care of the kids and stuff like that, it's like, oh, well, you supposed to be doing this. Oh, well, you want kudos for doing what you supposed to be doing. I'm like, nah, I just want acknowledgement for what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I want to be appreciated for what I'm doing, because you appreciating this other joker over here and he not doing nothing at all. So, you know what I mean? I thought that's a crazy statement, but it's true as all get out.
Look, that's so real. That's so real, because I remember one time, man, I was just talking to somebody and I just had a one line and I said something to somebody. It was like, yo, you right. And I was like, man, good fathers is like air conditioning. You don't care about it until it don't work. And it was like, oh. And I was like, but that's just like coming from, building maintenance and stuff like that. Like nobody's like, hey man, you did a good job of making sure everything was at a good temperature today. But when it's out, that's when they care. Like I worked good for 364 days. For one day, you're like, oh, what we doing?
No, that's legit, man. Everything y'all said is legit. And I think we're going to dive into it. Actually, it goes into the next question, right? Something that's irked me. I've heard this the most this Father's Day. Like we are starting to get our congratulations, but something I've been hearing is yeah, a lot of men are starting to step up to the plate, and it's like irked me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what do y'all mean? Like step up to the plate? Like what is this step up to the plate business? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if I don't know if it's just them saying it or how they're saying it, or if I'm taking it the wrong way. But it's just kind of like it feels like one of those slurs, or one of those it's like they calling us the NIGGR a different way. Like, yeah, he's a jungle bunny, and we don't necessarily know. Like that's what it feels like. Like it's a backhanded compliment. You know what I'm saying? So how do y'all feel about that term? Is men are starting to step up to the plate? What's your thoughts on that? Go ahead, Mo, spin it.
Man, it irks me, and that's exactly what it is. It's definitely a backhanded compliment. Man, whenever I hear it, like that's the thing, man. Coming from where we come from, they always be like, hey, disrespect won't be tolerated. I feel the same way. Whenever I hear it, I'm like, no, I'm not going for it. That's not true. Generally, there's a root cause behind why somebody don't want to be involved. Or there were indicators that they weren't going to anyway. So sometimes that should, there needs to be a little bit of accountability on the other side of it. But yeah, absolutely, man. It drives me crazy. I don't like it. And I check it every time it's ever said in front of me, whether I'm in the conversation or not. I'm like, no, that's not true. Ever. Like, no one doesn't want to be involved. If anything, they're tired of fighting to be involved. That's really what happens more oftentimes than not. And then if there's just really a piece of garbage, chances are those indicators were there before you laid down.
Now, you know, we can't hold no woman accountable. Now, you know it. They
don't
take that well.
Real petty.
You know, we can't. You know, we got to stop trying to hold them accountable, thinking they can do it. You know what I'm saying? Because we're going to keep doing it, expecting them to do their side of it, and that work's just never going to get done. So until we understand, we got to do all that work on the accountability side. I think that's the best thing to kind of approach it, even if it's not true. And they do take up hey, you took up some accountability, you helped a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think we're beating our head on the, I don't know, whatever. But go ahead, Lee. What you got, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really heard it. You know what I mean? I haven't heard it, but I don't really be listening like that. But it's crazy. Like, I think it comes. Somebody said it, and I don't remember who I was talking to, or maybe it was a podcast or something. And somebody said, you know, if you're like to, I think Mo said it. Mo said it maybe about not knowing any, like, maybe it was Hit who said something like, I don't know any bad dads. Like, everybody I know, all the people I know are good dads. But it's like, you know, if all you see around you are bad dads, then you need to check yourself on who you hanging with. You know what I mean? Like, you need to take inventory of who you putting in your life, because it's just like, oh, they're stepping up. Oh, so every guy you know is a bad guy or don't take care of this. Then I mean, that's more of an indictment on you and the people that you bring into your space and the energy that you allow around you. Because, you know, I don't know many bad dads. And if I do know some, like, they don't even pop up in my head. You know what I mean? Like, to even speak about like that. Like, everybody I know that I would think of first, they are all amazing dads, or they in their kids' life, or they're trying to be in their kids' life. So it doesn't even, if you say they're stepping it up, so they're stepping up to the plate, okay, then I think that's more of a I guess a dig on you. You know what I mean? You got some skeptical individuals in your life.
Yo, and think about the myth that just got busted by Oprah, where she was like, I think it's probably basically the black fathers are the most involved. Think about all the pushback that got. Like, this is y'all leaders. This is the leader that's saying this. And then people are pushing back like crazy. Like, that can't be true. Y'all don't know how to read data. I'm like, that's what I do for a living. Like, no, like the numbers don't lie. It just doesn't fit the narrative that you've been sounding for 50 years. So if it doesn't taste good, it is what it is.
Period. What's up, Hit? Chime in. How do you feel about the stepping up to the plate comment about dads?
I think that narrative is that said that we weren't nothing to begin with. You know what I'm saying? It's the same people telling the same story.
You need to say that again. It broke up, but say it again. I want you to say it again, true, so I can get it on wax.
I said, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yo, yeah. All right. I said that narrative was created by the same people who created a narrative that we wasn't nothing to begin with. Now that they're trying to reward us, right? You know what I'm saying? When they created that narrative, it's not true. Like, so there's a skit on an old Dr. Dre album, right? Like, tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? That mother had a sad baby, and that man is a good man. He's taking care of his real family, and I was just a HOE that tried to take a man from his family, right? You ever heard that skit before?
Nah, I never heard that one. But what is it? So we can go find it.
Hey, I'm gonna go find that. Jesus.
It's on the Chronic 2001. It's on the Chronic 2001, dog. You gotta go check it out, right? And it said so that
it said what? It said take a man from what?
He said, you run around here talking about daddy ain't this, daddy ain't that, but you ain't telling that mommy was an HOE. And mommy went and had a side baby trying to take her from his family. But he's a good man because he taking care of his real family and he ain't messing with her. See what I'm saying? But what happens is that saying, I'm this is why I'm bringing it up. I'm gonna bring it around, is because that same woman who did that, knowing that this dude got a real family and you just something on the side and you tried to make a move and take a man from his family. He's doing the right thing as a man. But now, whatever that child that you created is going to feel that wrath, right? Because you're going to tell him this man ain't this man ain't that. You know what I mean? And that creates that narrative. And then those same kids grow up just like that guy that you had on there that was like bashing men. Like, it's not just women doing it now; it's men too. Like, because you were raised by a scorned woman. You know what I'm saying? That had a bad experience because of the decision she made. Now you created a child that's how they feel about men. Well, men ain't this, men ain't that. Nah, it ain't. You gotta look at the whole scenario. It's just not a man. And those same kids are making movies. Because how many times you seen a movie that is depicted as ain't and the boy went to the NBA, the dad tried to come later on, and you know what I'm saying? We get it, like we get it. We don't talk about how, you know what I'm saying, there's guys that send multiple sons to the NFL and work with them daily. We don't get that story. You know what I'm saying? Like,
We only
you
hear
know
about the
what I mean? We
moms.
don't hear like all the things. But we just hear about how the mom, you know what I mean, was there. My mom supported me. She got me through it. Like, yo, and I'm trying to think of a couple of them that I'm trying to think, but there's multiple men that sent like sons, dog. You know what I mean? To the NFL, work with them. Yeah, all, you know what I'm saying? Multiple. I'm trying to think of the cornerback.
Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that was there.
Pops.
Preach.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's dropping
a whole lot of
Go
them.
ahead.
Hell,
we don't get that story, man.
Yo, you know the only step pops that ever got credit publicly, and it's only because he says it out of his mouth on a regular basis, is Shaq's dad. I've never heard of another step pop.
Shaq's dad, yeah.
You only hear about Shaq's dad because he is, you know what I'm saying? He's the only one who speaks about it adamantly over and over. He mentions his pops, his step pops in probably every interview where you can. They probably tried to wash it out a few times, but he just keeps saying it. You know what I'm saying? He says it so much about his how involved the step pops was and XYZ. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just can't even wash it out, and it kind of makes that whole step pop, don't get this, don't get that narrative kind of whitewash. Like, you know what I'm saying? But he's the only one I've ever heard saying my stepdad, you know what I'm saying? I never really heard nobody else go hard like that for a stepdad or a dad in general. Some people do. I've heard a couple people like, you know, say XYZ, but it's never really like that. You know what I mean? So I want to go. Y'all got anything else to say about what we talking about right now? So I want to go into the next question. Is right. Why do we make it easy for us not to be celebrated on any holiday, but stepfathers? I mean, you know, Father's Day in, you know, particular, because we don't get much, right? We all said that, you know, nobody's in the line, but we partially to blame for that. On that, I don't want nothing, I don't need nothing. I've become selfish in the last couple of years, and I want it all. You know what I'm saying? Treat me with the up. You know what I'm saying? With everything I'm gonna do for you. You know what I'm saying? So why do we do that as men?
Firstly, man, one, we're way softer. We're way softer than previous generations. Two, I mean, I just think that, you know, we're just so used to not getting anything. You know what I mean? Like, the bare minimum is enough for us. Like, and that's why I said what I said on a previous question. Like, yo, you need to actually hold them accountable, and you need to be like, yo, you need to teach somebody how to love you. Off rip. That's the biggest thing. Like, you know, happy wife, happy life. That's what about me? Like, I love me some me. Like, and I think that's the problem, man. We don't love ourselves enough to hold our significant other and our families accountable to what we want. A tie ain't enough no more. Not for how I get down. I don't want no tie.
Period. Leafer, I'm really aiming at you because you're the most I don't need nothing ass person ever.
I don't need nothing, but that's just real to me, man. For me, it's like anything I ever wanted, anything I ever said, I want this, I got it. You know what I mean? And so for me, those things that like you can't, it don't move me for you to get me something I can get on my own. You know what I mean?
But you
So
got
for
it for
me, it's just
yourself.
like you right
I
because I
feel.
wanted it.
Listen, bro. Hold on. Let me push back a little bit because when we was younger, bro. I remember we was walking to the mall, and you was like, "Hey, give me $10." I gave it to you, and I was like, "Wait, don't you got money?" You was like, "Yeah, I want to spend my money. I want to spend your money." So what changed from that person to this? I don't need nobody to buy me nothing now.
I think those are two different things. So for me, it's like, you know, when you, especially if you got something, it's always good to know the people around you ain't leeching. You know what I mean, and that they willing to do. If I was to ask you for, it could have been 10 cents. You know what I mean? It could have been $100, could have been 1,000. If I asked you for it, you was willing to give it to me, knowing that I got it anyway. But you was willing to give it to me. That like to me, that's like to me, that's the ultimate friendship
Oh,
type
that
thing.
was a
So
friend test.
yeah. So to me, that's the ultimate friendship type thing. It's not that I needed it, but just knowing that you would give it, is different. Like for me now, it's just like it don't move me. Like, you know what I mean? Like I've gotten gifts and stuff from people, like, and it's just like I would like the time is better. Like it means more to me. Like if I say like my daughter, she buy me something for Father's Day, I would much rather have time with her. Like, we go out to dinner or we go to a movie or she, write me a card or something, you know what I mean? Like that. Like that would mean much more to me than, getting anything or buying anything. And a lot of times when people buy you gifts, even if it's something you want, they figure out a way for you to use it on them anyway. So it's just like, I would much rather have that time or get that connection that I might not get normally all the time because everybody's busy doing their own thing. But those time of years, I would rather focus more on those personal connections or that personal time than gifts. Like they just don't move me at all. Unless it's like something like a couples massage or something like that. You know what I mean? And we can both go, and it's one of those those type of things. But other than that, they just don't move me that the same way.
Go ahead, hit. What's your perspective?
Um, so I guess I agree with Leaf from the standpoint. There's a lot of things that I can buy myself, and just because it's an expensive gift doesn't necessarily mean it's a meaningful gift. Like, you know what I mean? You can buy me something expensive. I mean, but it doesn't. If there's no meaning behind it, it really doesn't have the same effect. So like one of the gifts that I got for Father's Day was a dirty clothes hamper, and it's crazy because I was talking about it, like replacing mine, because I wanted one with like a fancy lid on it. You know what I mean? I wanted a sexy one. And you know what I'm saying? I come upstairs and I was like, damn, I got a hamper. Like I'm looking like, what is that? And then I'm looking like, oh, and then she even put the dirty clothes in the hamper, like it separates the white and the black. I was like, oh, that's a good look. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was a terrific gift. You know what I mean? Because you listening, you involved, you know what I mean? And you helping me do things that I want to do too. You know what I'm saying? And then you giving me that woman perspective. You picking out a nice fancy one that's gonna fit the room. You know what I mean? That's what, like, when we talk about like support, I think that's what support looks like to me. You know what I'm saying? So like when it comes to like the gifts, I just wanted to have a little meaning behind it. But I still want something. Don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? We need to break down, but I just don't want you to buy me another pair of shoes. I got plenty of shoes. It's just gonna go in a whole sea of the different shoes. It ain't gonna have no meaning. But something like that, where we listening, you talking to me, you know what I like. You buying me hand wraps or something. You know what I mean? That means more to me than something just super fancy.
So, I mean, I think that's what we're speaking to is love languages, right? I mean, love languages isn't just always for your partners or whatever. And that's why I said it initially, man. We need to teach people how to love us. So whether it's gifts, and kind of what Leifer was saying is like acts of service or whatever, or whatever it is that your love language is, whatever speaks to you, we need to teach our mates and family members or whatever how to speak to that. Don't love me how you want to be loved. Love me how I need to be loved. And we need to hold them more accountable to that. And we need to be more vocal about it too, because we can't hold them accountable if we're expecting them to read our minds. So that's something that we really need to do a better job of, is being more vocal and being able to communicate our needs more clearly.
Yeah, but I think another part of that is they got to do a better job too. Right? They got to do a better job of wanting to do it, right? To wanting to put in that extra time and effort. The same thing that we put into, they need
But
to.
what if you've never required it? You've never required. So, now all of a sudden I got to do something new. Like,
and then I think you gotta be the man to her, for her to want to, please you. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't the man, if she taking advantage of you, if you a sucker, you gonna get lit. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. So, like,
don't be a lollipop.
Women are more naturally pleasing than men. So why is it that the men are always the one doing all the pleasing?
Damn, you don't want me to go here.
Man, go there.
She wasn't her first choice.
You ain't the man.
She settled.
That's how I say it. You simply just ain't the man to her.
Yup, they settled.
Yup. So go be with a woman who think you the man.
Look, what a pimp told me: love who love you.
Nah, we definitely got to do a better job with letting people know we want to be celebrated. I think they raise hell about, oh, you didn't give me nothing for Valentine's Day, you didn't give me nothing for Mother's Day. They raise hell about that. I'm gonna throw the same fit. You don't give me something for Father's Day, I'm gonna throw a little tantrum myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it just is what it is, because I'm expressing it. I'm speaking. I'm communicating.
Water off.
I want something too. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And it's not necessarily about the cost of the gift. It's just more about the experience. I'm an experienced person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Get me an experience that I'm gonna remember and I'm gonna cherish. That's what I rock with. You know what I'm saying? So if you do that for me, man, I'm good. Like, but it had to be me. Like Mo said, I have to teach. I got to teach people how to love me. You know what I'm saying? What's going to be valuable to me? So, like, an experience is valuable to me. So that's what I want, and that's what I gotta. We clam up too much. We don't. We suffer in silence. You know what I'm saying? And we never say nothing thinking that somebody's just going to do what, you know what I mean? I think a lot of it is women will do what we want, what they want us, what we want them to do. We don't tell them, because we just don't know that we have to train and teach and guide. Like, you know what I'm saying? And until we understand, train, teach, and guide, your relationship's going to suck, because you're going to be sitting there expecting, oh, I want her, she ain't doing this and she ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? So
the strong silence type is played out.
Like old women, the dudes that like them old women, they like them old women because some other dude got them. So they liking. They don't even know what they like. They like what another dude done taught them. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not even custom to them.
Well, so Mr. Earl used to treat. No, don't do that. Don't do that.
That's what it is, though. Yeah, when you left, she wasn't doing that. You like how she doing it now, right? Like,
I used to love bringing home the groceries. Jeez, that's the worst scene in any movie ever.
It's disheartening. I actually got it clipped, man, and I kind of want to speak to why don't men like, so another tradition women do for Mother's Day, right? It's the busiest. It's the second or the first busiest day. Where? In church. Why is church not as full on Mother's Day? Mo, you go last. I mean, on Father's Day, yeah. Why isn't the church not as good, or not as packed on Father's Day? Go ahead, spin it.
Because we celebrated in the strip club last night. That's why. We just waking up.
That shake dancer is in the choir.
We
just wanted some wings.
Yeah, that's all I went for, and I don't even eat chicken.
Shout out to Lou Williams.
Nah, but I think that I don't know if that's where you getting that statistics from. first. Hey,
I mean, it's flat out the truth. I mean, you can look it up. You can look it up. It's you can prove it. But I mean, Leaford tell you he there every Sunday.
I ain't been there every Sunday since COVID, but I be watching it on Bedside Baptist. They now they cast it on YouTube, so it made it easy for me. But yeah, it was it was it was lacking on Father's Day. But some of that might be because fathers might just want to rest that day. They've been working all week. Folks in the house got them building stuff, got them fixing stuff and doing stuff. And Father's Day they just might say, man, I don't want nothing. I just want to be left alone. So that's church, and that's church too. So I think that might be part of it. I know this Sunday it might have been a little more attendance because they had a Father's Day breakfast. So, there was, a bunch of fathers came out for breakfast. I don't know if they stayed for church, but you know what I mean? I would imagine that, there was a little more of a turnout there. But yeah, man, I would imagine a lot of that is because, fathers probably just want to rest up. A lot of fathers is probably cooking for their own Father's Day meal. You know what I mean? So they just like, I'm just relaxing today. Whereas mothers is, like we said, they probably getting a meal prepared for them or going out to, to dinner or something like that.
Or he made Sister May stay in the bed and take care of him because it's his day. That's what it might be. That's why they empty. They got Sister Thelma up in the bed, son. That's what it is, dog.
It ain't on the schedule. It ain't on the schedule.
Nope.
Sister
Thelma and May's in the choir stand.
Yep. No, that ain't it. You might want to phone a friend. Nope, that ain't it.
What is it then? Enlighten me, my brother.
It's my turn.
Spin it.
I bet. Look, here's what it is, man. We figured out that this is the best it's going to get. So all this hooping and hollering and praise dance, we're like, man, this is the best it's going to get. We've got accustomed to, not necessarily purgatory, but this is just where it is. This is the best it's going to get. Hey, man, if I just make her a little bit happy, she's going to give me a little bit of peace and she's not going to nag me. That's where it's got to. Trust me, I've been there. I remember back in my married days. I know that's what's going on. So at the end of it, man, you just want to be left alone. So if you're like, okay, that gives me 2 hours of peace, yeah, you go. And that's the little bit of happiness you get, whether it be whatever you're doing around the house for 2 hours when you got it to yourself. That's peace. And that's their little slice of heaven. They ain't worried about putting in tithes or whatever. They're like, this is all I need right here. And this is all I'm going to get. And that's what's really going on, man. They just want a little bit of peace.
Period. So I got a clip I want to show y'all. I just want to get y'all thoughts on how y'all feel about this clip, man. And I ain't gonna tell y'all quite, but I'm gonna let y'all. It's been going viral. So let me go and play it.
If another childless person tells me how to be a father, I'll scream. I know this is gonna get me on TikTok for sure, but here I go. If another woman tells me how to be a father, I will open my mouth and flat out scream. You can no more tell me how to be a father than I can tell you how to birth a baby. I don't know nothing about birthing a baby. I don't know nothing about nursing a child. You have to know what you don't know. Shut up being the teacher and just be the wife. How do you know how to be a father? Not only are you not a father, most of you didn't even have a father, and yet you're an expert on how to be.
Preach, Pastor. Preach. Boy, that boy was teaching there.
Look, man. All right, but
that's Potter House right there, boy.
I'm going first on this one, man. Man, dude, pandering though. Like I get it. It's a little low key good message, but he been pandering to women all this time for years, year in and year out, man. I'm not buying it. Even when he's going over explaining it, he's like, I don't know nothing about birthing a baby. Like, how you comparing birthing a baby? Like that's the only thing you can compare it to. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things that men teach their children and women teach, and like a man's role and a woman's role in raising kids. He could have used any other example, like, you know what I'm saying, on what we do as fathers. But he used birthing a baby. I don't know. I'm just not buying the TD Jakes thing. You know, it's like great message. I think he was just purposely trying to go viral. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I
That
feel about it.
that too, and I think you're being highly critical, but the truth will set you free. Hey, he said what he said. He was on to something right there. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing like somebody who ain't never seen it, ain't never been it, gonna try to tell you what a real man's gonna do or what a real father's supposed to do. You ain't never been one and you ain't have one. It's a little hard to give somebody the guidebook or the manual to do something that you ain't never seen in real practice, in real life. Hey, he was preaching there. I might have to PayPal him a couple $2 for that one.
Yo, when you say pandering, I kind of missed the clip, but I guess a lot of that pandering, all that goes into what we just talked about, right? That women are the ones that goes to church, right? That's the masses. So you're just playing to the masses because like if you appease them, they're going to continue to support you, and you know what I'm saying, and so on. The cycle continues. I mean, that's just what I've been talking about the entire time, man. It's more popular to hate men. You know what I'm saying? Like if you say, "Oh, this dude ain't this dude ain't that," people will jump in it and they'll be agreeing. Yeah, they share their experiences. But let you say a woman ain't this and a woman ain't that, so we're gonna get blasted. You know what I mean? So I think with that, man, that's a business decision. Point blank.
What I always say, you want to be right or you want to be rich?
We
And
learning.
like Mo said, he made it. There's people like that made a career out of this. You know what I'm saying? Shit, Tyler Perry became a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? Basically playing to the stereotypes of, you know what I'm saying, how dudes ain't this and dudes ain't that, man. I mean, it just is what it is.
Go ahead, Lee, for spin.
Yeah, I don't know because I don't really listen to dudes, so I don't know I don't know where he's coming from. In general, pastors usually pander to the women, but in this specific thing, he seemed like somebody might have said something to him one too many times. You know what I mean? And he's just like, "Yo, what are you like? No, you can't tell me how to be a father. You can't tell me how to do this." But to that extent, I mean, he's right. There's a lot of women who aren't men, so they can't be fathers. Ain't never had a father figure in their life. But then on the flip side, there's a lot of men that ain't never have a father figure in their life. So you know what I mean? So for me, it's just like, you know, there's a flip side thing. It's not like being a father is innate. You know what I mean? It's something you got to learn. We all learning it every single day, trying to figure this thing out. You know what I mean? It's not an easy thing. So I don't know if I would go that hard. You know what I mean? Like I understand, like a woman can't be a father. She can't replace it. We know the father's impact in the child's life. But at the same time, I don't know that I would have went that hard on it because I know what it's like on the other side. So it's just like, it's not like we know what we're doing either. You know what I mean? And nobody ever talks about, they always talk about maternal instincts. They don't talk about paternal instincts. You know what I mean? It's just like, if you see your kid about to fall off a swing, like I know for me, there's no paternal instinct for me to catch him. It's just like, let me see if this little dude gonna get up. You know what I mean? So it's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like let me save him or let me protect him. It's more like, you know what I mean? Let me see if he gonna brush his knees off and get back up type of thing. So, and I don't know if that's instinct or if it's just like, he got to learn, so I don't know how I feel about it. I just feel like, they all gonna pander. You know what I mean? They all gonna pander, but I just feel like in that moment he's probably speaking to something that might have happened earlier that day. Somebody was telling him something about, you know what I mean, and he was just like, let me get this off my chest in here and add the Bible in here and say the Spirit told me. Nah, bro, you just mad and you telling somebody off who's in the vestibule right now.
When the last time you asked a fish to teach you how to ride a bike? Like, nah, he right. He said what he said. Like, I'm telling you, like, pandering or not, the message was good. I give it to him because there's too much of that goes on in our community right now.
Facts. So it kind of leads me into the next one. And this is something like, since I became a father, I used to hear this all the time. I haven't heard it this Father's Day though. I haven't heard it. So it's like, I normally, like, I go to bat with people over it. I used to. Like, I would go to bat with people over this. But now I don't hear it. But how do y'all feel about the, man, my mom is the mama and the daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, speak your thoughts on that. Like, the mother and the daddy, and giving your mom Father's Day gifts, and you know what I mean, all that extraness. Like, go ahead, Mo, spin.
Yo, I remember as a kid, I never believed in it. When I heard it, it didn't sit right with me, didn't sit right in my spirit. Like, yo, you got yours, you got your Mother's Day stuff, you got whatever I was gonna give you. Yo, you don't get to spin the block. Like, I'm sorry. Look, what you didn't do as a woman to keep the father around for whatever reason, that's a you thing. You don't get to spin the block and get a second bite at the apple. Like, it never sat good with me. I used to hear it a lot. And I used to be like, how? Like, well, why does it still feel like, there's something missing? If you're both, there's something still missing. So you're doing a poor job of it, if that's the case, if you believe that you're both. No, you're just being the best mother you can be. And anytime I hear it, like, obviously as a kid, I wasn't able to push back. But in my mind, I was like, nah. But once I got of age, and especially now, I would never let nobody say that around me. I'd be like, no, you're just being a good mother. How about that? Try that. Be the best of that. You come in the other lane.
But you can't even be a good mother when you're trying to be the father too. You know what I'm saying? You're going to suck at both. You know what I'm saying? And you want to know something else that irks me about this? I mean, for one, if you ever hear a woman say, "Oh, I'm the mom and the daddy," or whatever, clear red flag, toxic sign, get away. You can't change her. She's gone. She's lost forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't even, you know what I mean? Don't cross go, whatever. Just put a stop to that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, but I've heard men confess like to this. Like, yeah, she's doing it. She is the mom and the daddy, blah, 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 this and that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I used to call a dude dad that confessed this. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I would look at him like, nigga, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you think? Like, a woman could be the mom and the dad? Are you that weird? Are you that broken? You know what I'm saying? To think that a woman is being a good mom and a dad, oh, you trash. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I know the work I put in. You know what I'm saying? And for you to give any props to a woman on how to be a father, that just tells me you're a terrible dude on the other end. So if you hear a dude say a woman could be is the mom and the daddy, he trash too. You know what I'm saying? Like, both of them, like, that mindset is a whole. And it's unfortunate that a whole generation, you know what I'm saying, is susceptible to this. And I used to ask people on purpose. I would ask other cultures, and they was laughing at it. You know what I'm saying? I asked Latinos, like, I was working with some Latinos at the time, and I was like, hey, what's your thoughts on the mom and, you know, women getting Father's Day gifts? And they just start laughing like, what?
¿Por qué?
What are y'all talking about? Y'all do that? That's weird to me. Like, right. No other culture does this or is thinking that way but ours. What's up, Hit? What you got?
I got two things. All right, so I just want to respond to what you were saying. You know, the rant you just went on. You can't really blame them dudes, man, because I said this before. When you mix, you know what I mean. Like, when you mix, like, I'm trying to think, not estrogen, but femininity, like being like, when you have a feminine mindset, you know what I mean, with a lot of testosterone, then you get shit like what you just said. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you got a woman that's giving you her ways of thinking, her ways of existing, but you're still a man with a whole lot of testosterone and pinned up anger, then you get situations where guys are saying things like that. It's not his fault, man. That came from years and years of brainwashing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was in a cult. You know what I mean? Like a man-hating cult.
It is his fault. Don't be protecting that guy.
Nah, because
it is his fault. We not like that though.
No, but he loves his mother though, and so he holds his mom at high esteem. That's his mother who took care of him. He holds her at high esteem. So whatever she says to him is facts. This the truth.
I think he held his dad to. I heard him say more positive things about his dad than his mother. To be honest.
No, we talking about you. I'm talking about. I'm not a specific person. I'm talking about people in general, right? This guy in general, right? You can't say like if a man is walking around and saying that his mom was his dad and his mother, though that's years of being brainwashed by the person that you hold to the highest esteem, that you love the most. That's years of it, man. You can't I mean, is it right? No, but I can't blame him. I'm not gonna blame him because that's what he was taught. That's what he grew up. There's people that believe things, and when you show them the truth, they get upset because you're calling grandma a liar, or you calling their somebody that they love the liar. Not that they can't accept it for being the truth, but they can't accept the person being wrong. That's the issue. So that was my first rant about that. You know what I mean? Any feedback?
I mean, just because a person's a prisoner of war don't mean they need to start speaking the captive's language. Like, you still are who you are. Like, okay, like, yeah, they've been indoctrinated with bad information. Once you see that that's not, the results don't add up to that, you should back off of it. So, like, no, I don't, like, okay, they're a prisoner, keep them over there. Like, they've crossed over. So that don't mean we hold them accountable. We shouldn't hold them accountable. They're still wrong.
But they're not gonna go to their beloved mother and be like, "Mom, all these years you've been telling me a lie." You know what I mean? Like, it's not right what you were saying. But there's not a lot of people that's made up that can do that, dog. Like,
yeah, because most people are sheep. Most people are sheep. I mean, they're not prototype dads.
Yeah, but a lot of people too sacrifice, you know what I'm saying, emotion for intelligence. Like, you can show them something and they won't believe it because, again, whatever that truth is tied to something that they got more feeling about or they love. So that's that. And a second part of that, mom, this women saying like, I don't need a man, then all this. It's crazy that you say you don't need a man, but to have the child, to be a mother, you needed a man to do that. You know what I'm saying? And what happens is, man, that shit gets perpetuated. You know what I mean? Again, through the child, because your relationship didn't work. Then you scorn men, and then you start creating this narrative with all the children that, oh, I can be your mom and your dad, and that, this and other. Because and not saying real women, but women that's not scorned, that thinks, will say something like, you keep acting like that, I'm gonna call your uncle. You keep acting like that, I'm gonna call your granddad. You keep acting like that, I'm gonna call my brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get your older brother, because they understand that they can't be the man either. They can't raise a man. They need other men. You know what I'm saying? They understand that concept. So they may take care of you and do everything you do, but they're gonna create a village around you. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna show you the things that they can't show you because they know there's only so far they can go with it. But that has to be a woman that's healed. You know what I mean? That's together, that's whole. That can create that atmosphere. Like you said it totally right. If you're talking like that, yo, you're broken. Run away from her. Get away from her. She's poison, and she's gonna poison the people around her because she don't want to feel like she's wrong. Because she know Mac Daddy Trey had 4 or 5 baby mamas already. You know what I'm saying? But she thought he was fly, and she wanted to take a shot at the title, and now she ended up, you know what I'm saying, over here by herself trying to figure it out. He was the same dude he was the whole time, dog. You know what I'm saying? He was consistently a player, but she still wanted to crack at the title because he had them fly cornrows and a choke and the gold chain.
What's up, Leifer? What you got?
I mean, I haven't heard it in a while, man. I can't even remember the last time I did hear it, but man, I think that whole idea is trash. So how I look at it is like, words have meanings, right? But oftentimes what happens is when people's emotions get involved in their speech, they say words that don't align with their meaning. So a lot of people, they start talking this, oh, I'm the mother and the father, and what they really mean to say is that I'm taking care of my kid on my own. I don't have any help, but they say this, I'm the mother and the father type thing, as a way to basically down the other person who's not in their life, and to let it be known to whoever's listening that they're carrying the weight on their own. And then oftentimes people say a lot of hurtful things because they want to trigger certain people, and they don't necessarily mean what they're saying verbatim, but the person that hears it, whether sometimes it's a kid that hears it, they repeat this stuff and they say it to somebody else, and then they say it to somebody else, and what happens is now you got a circle of people saying the same bull crap that the person who initially said it didn't really intend it, or didn't necessarily intend it in that manner, but now everybody is circulating that information. So if there's a person in this circle and this is the only thing that they're hearing, this is common speech to them. You know what I mean? So it's difficult for them to leave that space, go to another space, and kind of get a understanding out here, unless they're grown and they've been in different situations. But as a kid, as you're coming up, if this is all you hear, oh, my mom was the mother and the father, my mom is the mother, then you believe that, and you start spitting that bull crap to somebody else, and all you're doing is perpetuating the same mess. But I think oftentimes, like I said, man, a lot of people say things that they don't necessarily mean, and you got to understand what what the meaning of certain things are when you putting it out there in the world, because everybody's just going to run off of what the perceived meaning is of those things, and that's extreme toxic behavior. And there's, like y'all said, man, if you hear anybody say that, man, run the opposite way, because that's going to be more work than it might be even worth it, because oftentimes the person that's saying this doesn't really understand the full ramifications of what they're saying, and and what that actually can do to a person's mind state.
Yeah, they definitely holding on to some trauma, man. Like that's fueled by all trauma. They holding on, and that's a ticking time bomb, because what I mean, they still haven't let that go.
So next topic is how would you feel if your kid split the celebration with another father? Gave somebody else, like, split that credit, like, yeah, that's my daddy too. I wanted to get you a gift and him a gift. How would you feel if they split the celebration? Mo, you go last. You got too much emotion. Leaford, you go first since you went last time.
Yeah. So I don't know how I would feel. Like, so I spoke about it plenty of times. Like, my first child is not my biological child. I have a daughter. This is my stepdaughter, and in some ways, I guess we do have to, split that, the celebration, or split the, the Father's Day thing or whatever like that. And I'm sure it probably sucks for him. You know what I mean? I'm sure it probably sucks for him, because he can't be living different areas. So it's like, he can't really be around her on that day most of the time. And, so it's probably a rough situation. For me, I don't know. I would think that I'm more level-headed, you know what I mean, and I'm more practical. So I would think if the shoes were on the other foot, that I would be able to handle it and be like, all right, well, you spend this day over there, and I'll spend this day over here. But you know another side of me is like, I probably be like, I'd probably be messed up about it. But I would like to think that I would be able to handle that situation, like a G.
Go ahead. Hit. How would you feel about that?
Yo, I want to just break this question down. So first off, do I know this dad? Like, is who is his dad? Like, who is
Maybe,
this guy?
maybe not.
I didn't know this. Who is this guy?
It's a pure fact that your kid is calling somebody else dad and saying, giving them that credit like they raised them.
Well,
That's
that
your
means
lady's ex. That's your lady's ex. That's who
that
he
means
is.
that okay. So that means hold on now. Like, I think on this one we got to eat this one, because that means we failed somewhere, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're the primary father, you failed somewhere. You dropped the ball, and somebody else picked that ball up. You know what I'm saying? And they're running with it. I mean, that's the only way I can look at it. Like, if your child, because if you're present and you have that much presence, then your child is like, yo, he's cool, but that's my dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be it's known. And so if there's any doubt, that's because, you know what I mean, your actions allowed that to set in. Like, there's no other way around it. You know what I mean? Even if you were present, like, even if y'all both super present, you know what I'm saying, just biologically, they're gonna go towards, you know what I'm saying, the bio parent. Like, that's what it is. Or they're gonna go with who they got the most connection with. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna try to show them love and say, hey, I'm still gonna hit up, you know what I'm saying, Mike, because he, you know what I mean, he's cool. But they gonna rock with whoever that, you know what I mean? And that's even like mother and father. That's with both parents. You know what I'm saying? The child is who they more connected with emotionally. They're going to drift towards them. You know what I mean? In celebrations and different things. So I think on that one, that's on us. We dropped the ball somewhere on.
Go, Mo.
My turn. All right. So, and like, this is funny because I've lived this, right? So with that being said, though, I mean, like, as far as drop the ball, whatever, not necessarily. Man, I'm super involved. However, just because the step could be in the house because they're actually with the mom. That don't mean I dropped the ball. That just means that proximity and location wise, they're together because my ex is with him. So that doesn't mean I dropped the ball. And for all the effort and everything that I do, I don't feel I should have to split that. However, I do understand that there's a certain level of appreciation that needs to be shown because they are there and they are doing a little bit of, I shouldn't even say a little bit. They are doing some things that need to be done because they're just happen to be there. But at the same time, nah, it ain't a 50-50 thing. Like, no, it's me. Like, if you ever needed a kidney transplant, you got to come to me. We ain't 50-50 in that because we have the same genetics. So that's why it's important. But I totally understand, like, you could be a father but not be a daddy. I get it because you weren't there. But as somebody who's doing both, like I'm a father and a daddy, nah, that's a hard pill to swallow that I'm sharing credit. Like, no, ain't no co-champs over here.
Period. I want all my money, every last dollar. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be with my kids calling another dude dad at all. Like, I would be highly offended. I mean, because one thing I've realized, man, the work is hard. It's grueling. There's a lot of things that you got to go through to be a prototype dad, man. And we've all seen each other struggle. And the amount of sacrifice and the amount of just how would you say when you don't quit, resilience that you need to be
Yeah,
a
the
father.
perseverance, man, we got to go through, man. Especially, in some cases where like there was no template. Heck no, like I'm not about to share that. I'm not about to share
Yeah,
the crown
the
with that.
fight in the court systems that a lot of us do. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much that goes into it, to dealing with the mental issues the kids have, getting make sure they have the right stuff, the right therapy, the right medical attention. You know what I'm saying? Handling if they got allergies or, you know what I'm saying, certain illnesses, or, you know what I'm saying, like going through that whole process. You know what I'm saying? From start to duh. It's just way too much for me to share for me to share any of that credit. Like,
So
it's a grueling
what if
process.
he's doing all that? What if he's doing all that?
Then, like, I mean, I think somebody said it, like, we dropped the ball somewhere. You know what I'm saying? If they're doing all that, I really got no choice but to be
Yeah, well, you
like,
disqualified. He's disqualified at that. You
yeah,
disqualified if
but
you
you
ain't
still
doing
feel some
nothing.
type of, like you said, it probably sucks for him. You know what I'm saying? That he has to share, because that's nothing you should have to share. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, like I had to fight to get my first two kids name changed. That's not that for me. That should have been an absolute given. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's so disrespectful to have to go through that process. You know what I'm saying? Because I know who I am. You be like, I know who I am. I'm way bigger than this. Pookie and Ray Ray got 100 kids. They ain't there for none of them. And all their last names is Williams. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You
so
got
it's
about
just,
three juniors. You got about three
yeah,
juniors out
right.
this way.
Look, listen. I know a dude that got a kid. He got a kid named after his nickname. You know what I'm saying? And then he got a regular junior. Like what? But it's only because the girl thought his nickname was his name. You know what I'm saying? It just blows me up. So I'm like, I'm a way better father than a lot of these men out here. And So that's how I feel about that. Anybody got any else thing to say? Because we got one last question. Cool. Can y'all hear me? Y'all can hear? Can y'all hear? Okay, cool. So y'all see the question at the bottom. How would you want to be celebrated on Father's Day?
Look, I can go ahead and spin, man. For me, man, I just want to be, man. I want peace, and I want, and like I say, man, for the most part, everybody has kind of a small chunk of what I need from them in my life. Just make my life easier. Like if you just food prep for me for the week, that would be appreciated. Um, my pet peeve is grocery shopping. If you went and did that for me, just the stuff that just would take something off my plate. I do, for the most part, I do everything I do at a high level. If you just took something off my plate, I'd appreciate it. That's it. That's all I ask. Like, this isn't rocket science. You know what I mean? I'm not asking for you to go and buy me a Range Rover because that's not what I need. I just need you to take a little something off my plate, and that's one less thing for me to carry. That's all.
Yo, man, that's a pretty deep question, man. And I just kind of showed you, like, as men, like, when you ask that question, everybody pause, because, like, a lot of us really don't know what we want, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we want the world. I mean, we got goals. We got, you know what I mean? We got 30, 30, 60, 90-day plans. You know what I mean? We got a lot of things, but, like, when we start talking about, like, what we want, especially, like, emotionally, like, everybody kind of froze, like, damn, what do I want? You know what I'm saying? So I think, man, like, that's a really deep question, man. Like, the things and what makes us happy as men. But, like, I think the biggest thing for me, man, just give me support, and, you know what I mean, allow me to have peace, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think those two things, like, because the support is going to allow me to accomplish the things that I want to do. And then, you know what I'm saying, the peace of mind is when I get it, I can enjoy it. And, you know what I mean? And I can rock with it like that. Like, that's how I want to be celebrated. Yo, let me see. If I can flip this thing.
Go ahead, Lee.
Yeah, you know, I think I would want to like. I think I want to be celebrated like just with respect, and you know what I mean. Just getting some peace, some respect, and some appreciation. You know what I mean, for all that I've done every other day of the year. The work that I put in to keep this thing going. The things that are taken care of that nobody, people take for granted. Did you come in the house and you know what I mean? Stuff is working. You know what I mean? And things are just moving and bills is paid. People take that for granted because it's just done, and you don't ever have to see a bill. You don't ever have to see, you don't see anything. You just see the finished product. So just some appreciation for everything that the work that I'm putting in every day. Like that. That's how I want to be celebrated. If I can get one day out of the year where I don't get asked to fix nothing, I don't get asked to build nothing, I don't get asked to cook nothing, I don't get asked to, you know what I mean, just to do nothing. I don't even want to think. I want you to read my mind. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to say nothing. I just want to be able to chill, relax. Like I think that's how I want to be celebrated on Father's Day. Just you know what I mean. Whatever I think, y'all just already doing it without me saying it, and that would be like the dopest day for me, where it's just like I can relax and chill. Unfortunately, I don't necessarily get to do that because I'm off celebrating my father, and generally how that happens is my contribution is cooking. You know what I mean? Because that's the easiest thing for me to do. So my brothers and sisters are always like, oh, let's do, my dad, he likes food. So we always come together, and generally if we're cooking something, then, I'm doing the brunt of the cooking. So, generally a portion of that day or half of that day is me celebrating my father with, preparing a meal or something like that. But then the second half of the day, my household, would in theory be celebrating me, reading my mind, and doing everything else for me for the rest of the day.
So for me, love and experience. You know what I'm saying? Shower me with the love. I want all the love. You know what I'm saying? I want the kids jumping in. I want the kids cards. I want all of it, And then give me an experience. You know what I mean? Take me somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you should know me to know, be like, he would like this or he would like that, or you know what I'm saying? I just said the same three things over. But no, just saying, whatever I would like, just give me an experience that I haven't had before. Or maybe it's an experience I like and want to do again. You know what I'm saying? But love and experience is about as far as, I need to be celebrated, for that day and to make it special, man. And I would appreciate all of it. You know what I'm saying? But if anybody y'all got anything else y'all want to chime in on? All right, man. Hey, it's another Tuesday at 9. That's another prototype dad. And we out.